Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones. Guys, I'm trying to get us there. I'm trying to get us there. How do we do it? I get that we can just go make the fight. But if you throw that out, then the game kind of comes to an end. Just go sign the fight. But here's the problem. Problem number one. The UFC puts on fights that have significance. Now, you must understand, there's huge repercussions. There's little repercussions. There's repercussions that will be marquee names at Madison Square Garden. There's repercussions that'll pick up a guy 70, 80 Twitter followers. But there's a significance to every single fight. There's a reason behind every single fight. The outcome of every single fight has to lead to something, or the UFC doesn't do it. Now, when you have something as special as Jon Jones and Alex Pereira, does it have to be able to fit in the same box as everything else? No. But if you are trying to guess and predict what the UFC is going to do when you have 30 years of knowledge and insight into the psychology of what they do, we run into a little bit of a problem. The biggest hang-up for me is White House. If Jon Jones would start doing some call-outs and leave that out of it, it'd be very different. There is no fighter, that's a literal statement, not one, aside from Jon Jones, who is okay not having a fight. Every fighter under contract wants to fight, and for various reasons. It's what they do. It's their social life. Their coaches are counting on them. Their managers are counting on them. Their coaches, their sparring partners, and their managers, who all get a little piece of it, are loved ones. They're guys they look to as father figures, or they look to as brothers. And they have a responsibility, they themselves, which is to go out and bring in the money that everybody gets a little piece of. You don't get better over time. Your legacy doesn't look so great when it's so spotty with breaks. I'm just sharing for you, there's a number of reasons, but the only fighter that is okay having a fight booked a year away is Jon Jones. It's just a unique thing. So it's a little bit of a miss. When Jon goes and calls for somebody, Jon thinks, well, I know what they will want because I want the same thing, but that's where the little bit of a miss is. And I love everything that Jon's doing. Agreeing to Pereira, being able to fight Pereira. Don't have to put up or make up some kind of a belt. Let's go. You and me, we both know what this is about. Everybody knows what this is about. Ultimate supremacy in the ultimate proving ground. You're not past your prime. You got a world title. I'm not past my prime. I got a world title that I never lost. They took it from me. We're both sharp as can be. Let's do it, and let's do it now. Okay. It's the White House part that confuses me. First off, if we're going to put that on the White House, then we're openly admitting that the biggest card of all time doesn't have a title. We can work around that, but it doesn't have a title. Secondly, and the far bigger problem, the UFC, when they do fights of significance, meaning the outcome of this match will lead to another match, it sure sounds as though it's a one and done for Jon. It does not sound like Jon wants a full schedule. Does not sound like Jon wants to come back. Feels like he's willing to fight Pereira. And when you have as much success as Jon, right? Like we all think you'd do anything to be a world champion. He's won so many world championships. He gave 2 of them back. He gave a light heavyweight title back. He had the heavyweight championship. He gave it back. I mean, this is a very different level of success, which is sometimes very hard to relate to. But either way, if you're going to do Jones versus Pereira, it's got no belt. We're going to get around that. It's going to be a main event. We're going to get around that. Oh, by the way, if Jones, who is going to be the favorite in that fight, wins, he's not using that as a number one contendership to draw into a world heavyweight title fight or anything else. So let's say you go to Jon and you tell him what I just said. Hey, look, here's my reservation. I'm not interested in one and dones. I'm not interested in, and by the way, I'm sure not going to keep Pereira, the sport's biggest draw. I'm not going to keep my biggest star out to save him 3 seasons and 8 months from now to put him into a contest at a weight class he's never competed against a guy who the odds makers say is going to beat him. So if you are here to do multiple fights, if you are here to get a ranking back, of which currently he doesn't have, and I think that that's owed explanation. I think our rankings committee owes us an explanation as to how Jon Jones is present in the pool and not ranked in the top 15. But I need more fights. And if you are sincere and you say, no, I will give you more fights, great. Give them to me before the White House. Instead of starting at the White House, which would be almost 2 years you removed, and a spot that I'm going to give you, a guy that took 2 years and did nothing, and step that in front of all the boys and girls that want on there who have traveled the roads, who have been trying to work their way up. Before I do that, I don't do one and dones. I do significant fights. I can make this a number one contenders match. I can sit the heavyweight champion of the world right there in the front row and we can have our face off. But I can't do that if you're going to walk out here one time and say goodbye. So let's do it in reverse. Let's not start at the White House and go from there. We've got 8 months to book you. Of those 8 months, 3 are already spoken for. So now I've got as much early as January of next year. And you probably want to be done February, March, so that you have a little rest, recovery, training camp, and can fully focus on it. But this in lies the problem. Like, where is that level of sincerity? If you have Jon Jones back, that's really good news. If you have Jon Jones willing to fight, not for a title, just go out and do a fight that's not even a personal grudge, just a really hard match that the world wants to see. Like, these are really positive things. I think that in Jon's basket, he's got a lot of really good things. He just has a miss. He has a miss, which is he's asking himself the basic question. How would I like to be treated? What would I say yes to? And this is something he would say yes to. He doesn't mind fighting once a year. He doesn't mind fighting once every 2 years. But there's nobody else that can relate to that. So we've got a little grace period, all because Alex Pereira has a broken foot. If Alex Pereira did not have a broken foot, we would be forced to either look into stripping him of the light heavyweight title or of booking a defense for the light heavyweight title. Because of the broken foot, we're not forced to do anything right now. But I do believe that Jon can get back on the White House card, regardless of all the things that are said. I do believe he can do it, but I believe his strongest argument to get there would be to show it's not a one and done. As a matter of fact, I've got 8 months. I'm willing to do something first. And that way, if we do have Jones versus Pereira on the White House card, if we had one of those two, we could also make it for a title fight. Currently, there is a title involved, but it involves Jon Jones getting down to 205 pounds, and nobody seems to be discussing that but me. Jones, White House, I can see it. I can make a case for it. To strengthen that argument, though, take the Pereira fight. Just take it sooner than the White House card.